Okay, we're off. We're recording, so only say nice things, all right? Especially about me and Hendry, because we're very sensitive. So welcome. So what I thought we'd do as a theme, and I want to thank Daniel for some feedback around questions and subjects and things that will be of interest. If anybody else has got any sort of things they'd like to use or suggest as a theme or a topic for any of these conversations, just drop me an email and I'll build it in and weave it as we go along. So, Daniel, thank you. Really helpful. I'm here to serve you, not just tell you what to do. So it's part of the designing the product for you. Amandeep, hi, good morning, sir. One of the themes that came through, I think, on Daniel's request, if you like, was about team and leadership. And I see this being an issue not just for martial artists by any means, but for everybody running their own company and bringing recruiting people into the business either to deliver the service in your case be on the mats as instructors or to support with the operations and back office side is always difficult. It's always tricky. People don't do it. They don't like handing over. So I thought we'd use that as a sort of theme and a bit of a discussion, if you like, looking for some tips and ideas for best practice, what works, what doesn't work, what you found. Because I think if you don't build team at some point, it becomes a limitation in the growth of the business because you as instructors, even though you love what you do on the mats, you run out of capacity because you can only deliver so many lessons. And also, if you've got to do the back office, the sales, the marketing, the operations, the delivery, it becomes 90 hours a week and you burn out anyway. So I think team is a real interesting sort of subject. So I'm going to pick on Daniel first, if that's okay. Daniel, if because you raised some of the questions here, just give us a broad overview, Daniel. What have you done to recruit or develop instructors, for example? We'll talk instructors first and maybe operations later. But how have you gone about that in your academy there?
So yeah, for us, it's probably going back like maybe 9, 10 years now. We had our own like instructor training program,
Right.
and like we've always run family classes within the company, so like parents can train with their students, and
Yeah.
like very much about encouraging the parents to join in, like even if it's like a bit of like kind of basic assistant, just like holding pads, working with the kids. They get the feel for what the classes are like, and then it's sort of like gradually over time, like encourage them to join in the class, make it clear that we've got this instructor program running, and
Hmm.
we've held like discovery days for people where they come like have a look at, so see what the course is like. Our instructor program, it's broken down into like being able to like coach on the mats, but we also like focus on the areas of like running the martial arts school, boroughs. So like look at the student service, look at the sales and marketing, look at the admin, look at the finance behind it. And we ran it like so it's kind of evolved over time from like a 4 day course to doing like 4 weekends a year to doing like six weekends, so or like 6 days over like a 3 month period. We've kind of like we've sort of changed that structure as we go along. We've got an online course to go alongside it,
Okay.
and yeah, but then what once they sort of join this program, which like the people pay to be a part of, and like they get their membership kind of subsidized.
Right.
Alongside it, we've got a workbook for them to work through,
Yeah.
and that workbook's basically aimed at like encouraging them to try all the different elements as well. So they get the information on these days, then they have to go away, like put it in practice, like under the supervision of their instructor team,
Yeah.
and at the end of it, yeah, but like they graduate, and the kind of um goal for us is that like we get people to the stage where they'd be ready to run their own class,
Okay.
and like it doesn't always like it doesn't always happen. Like it's probably like yeah, it's quite a small percentage of people who actually go through the full journey, and then
Sure.
at the end of it say I'm ready to take on a school. But you end up with people who are sort of very good like assistant instructors. They're happy to like volunteer time to help the instructor build their school when it comes to like the fate season, when it comes to doing like the leaflet drops and like the promo stands. Um yeah, and yeah, like we just try and make sure that the days are um they're going to be beneficial for people. They're like topics which people can apply to whichever jobs they're in. Um, yeah, so it's kind of worked well for us. External recruitment's always been a bit of a challenge for us because like you end up people with like ideas on actually like we want to run it this way, like we've got experience doing something, and like we don't want to, yeah, we don't want to basically like you run things like in it through our systems. So we've not cracked that, but we found like the internal recruitment, just having a constant focus on it.
Yeah. I
That's
think
worked well.
I've seen a lot of people try and recruit from outside. Again, martial arts and other ways as well, but recruiting from outside. And that can be, well, it's tougher because you don't know them, they don't know you, they have maybe different styles, different training. It certainly seems to be the case to, where possible, bring people through the ranks. To be the internal instructors. Interesting. You charge your people, your students to train to become instructors. There's a fee for that.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So we thought like actually like they're getting like a lot of time from the instructors. Like make sure there are resources there. Like we switched to like a monthly payment, so people pay £90 per month at the moment. It
Yeah.
includes their training fees, and then like they get discounts on training for like any family members. But
Okay.
we keep that going like until the stage where they do qualify. Like so, there's a bit of incentive for them to actually keep up with the training and like complete the course.
Excellent.
Um, yeah,
Okay, great. And again, I'll throw this one open as well. What I found, and back in the day, we used to run a recruitment business over in Birmingham, gosh, about 25 years ago now. And what we found was that they recruited people, they hired people on their skills, technical ability, CV, and background, but they never checked into their personality, attitude, and sort of behaviors as well. And of course, when you hire somebody, you always hire people on their skills. But if you're going to fire somebody, 9 times out of 10, it's always the attitude is the trigger for firing them. A final question: How do you, or do you, how do you check on people's? I'll use the word personality and behaviors as part of your recruitment process? Do you do any sort of tests or checks or any details there at all to make sure you get the right frame of mind as well?
we've incorporated some of like personality, like so we've covered like disc profiling as like a topic on the course, but in terms of like who gets invited onto the program,
Yeah,
where they're known to the instructor before they're joining anyway, so that like while they're training as a student, like while they're interacting as a parent, the instructors kind of like working out like okay, actually like this person they might be good at like helping the other children in the class, they help their own child, and yeah, that they kind of fit the bill. Like there's someone the
yeah,
instructor can work with. It's difficult. Like we have to sort of keep mentioning to the team, um, but yeah, like you're looking for the skills which are trainable as well. So
yes,
it it may be like they're kind of a rough product at the moment, like the person that
yeah,
yeah, they're not there as like they're not ready to go and start teaching a class in a short
sure,
space of time. Like it could be that it's a year, it's 2 years for someone to be ready, but like can you work with them? Like have they got kind of foundations like and then the exact skills you can develop over time.
right, excellent. Thank you. And one of the things I know you mentioned DISC, and maybe we'll do a separate uh, training or a separate conversation around personality profile. And one of the things that I find is, and for everybody we work with as clients, we always look at their DISC profile, not because we're going to disqualify them, but so I know how they're wired, what their strengths are in terms of personality or leadership or how they're going to show up, introvert or extrovert, all this type of thing. And that, I think with the personality profiling, there's no right or wrong particularly, but there are some key traits and patterns that would lend themselves to be people being maybe more confident in front of a group or more detail orientation or whatever it is, more sociable and outgoing that you can look at. So from a disc, anybody's interested well, for disc profile, I'll put a link up in the group. on sort of Facebook group. I mean, we can get them done for you, but you can get a disc profile, a basic disc profile done online. It's just you fill in a few questions, it produces a graph and a chart, gives you a very basic report, enough to start. So I'd recommend it. Anybody who gets stuck on disc or implementation of it, drop me a note. I can have a conversation separately. I'll give you some sort of tips and ideas. We use it a lot, but do some personality profiling because it sort of sorts out the personality and the attitude and that sort of thing. So, okay, Daniel, fabulous, thank you. So, anybody else? Anybody is recruiting anybody at the moment or looking to build their team for 2025 or onwards? Tim, yeah, you flinched. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, no, it wasn't plenty with a definite hands up. Basically, yeah, I've just started to formalise our instructor program because obviously I'm at the point now where I need to start stepping back from a certain amount of classes a week.
Yeah,
So I need to get people in places that can do my work for me.
absolutely.
Now, we have run instructor courses for the past, I wouldn't say how many years, but it's not been quite as formalised and structured as I've moved on to now, which is absolutely brilliant. We ran one about a month or so ago on a Sunday. I've got another one this Saturday as well. In total, there'll be 40 instructors.
Wow.
So that's based on, there'll be about 10 adults out
Yeah.
of all this 40, and the rest are junior helpers.
Okay.
But are working on the same profile with them. The difference being is the adults will have additional training in terms of being able to manage a class, whereas the juniors are like being able to do a bit of one-to-one or a small group of the same grade. Um, but I'm tying them into, I just charge a one-off nominal fee.
Okay.
That's how I'm
Yeah.
building this because I need to get there as quick as possible with this first batch. Um, Having 40 people involved in it, at the end
It's
of
a
it,
big
I've
group.
got,
That's a massive group. Okay,
yeah,
I mean, good, but so. Just sorry, Tim. Just for maybe for everybody, how many students do you have then? What sort of size of academy do you run? So I'm not
approximately
up to date.
450.
Right. Okay. So 40 is a big chunk of people to be coming through. So nicely
Oh
done.
yeah,
That's great.
it's absolutely fantastic. They're
Yeah.
lovely people as well, and it just
Absolutely.
means then I can get more growth then as well because
Yes.
once we've got these guys trained up here, that'll help out in our normal setup of classes, cover
Yeah.
classes, etc. Is the future development process we're bringing in. But
Yeah.
then if they want to have their own night, we've got a franchise structure in place already that they can drop into, and if they want to do it seriously in terms of they want to get themselves set up full time, we've got
Yeah.
scope to do that. If they want to just do an odd night, we can do that. If they want to just help in our classes, we can do that. I don't need any major growth from it, but
No.
any growth that we get is beneficial to the club anyway.
Yes. Absolutely.
But in terms of what we've actually got from here, in terms of instructor growth, is massive in terms of what instructor we've got on timescale to work with.
I mean, just out of interest, and probably for everybody else, so how did you pitch it to is it 450 students, and so 10% of your students are becoming instructors or
Yeah.
interested, which is incredible. So nicely done. How did you pitch it? What was the conversation? What really attracted them to it, do you think?
Well, basically, we sent it out initially, and we had about 60 interested in it.
Okay.
It was just a nice general approach there that we're looking at offering this training.
Yeah.
We told them there would be a small fee to it. Simple
Sure.
reason I want a small fee to it is if I do it for nothing, I'd have everybody sticking their kid on doing it
Yeah.
or anything
Agreed.
that way around there. I don't want that. If they're going to pay a small fee for it, they're the ones that want to do it.
Yes. Agreed.
Um, Second email that went out there, it tied them down to a few more details in terms of they will be assessed in classes when they're actually teaching.
Yeah.
They have to. It's kind of like the Duke of Edinburgh scheme where people bring the
Hmm.
piece of paper and they get it signed off each week when they're coming to teach that class. They've
Right.
got to do a minimum of 30 classes teaching with us.
Okay.
That way round there, it's a commitment from them to actually take part in it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from that, there we've got over 40 interested in doing it, which is brilliant.
That's amazing. And I mean, I think, as you said, out of that 40, some will want to be just, assistants in the class, maybe do
Yeah,
their own classes, but would some want to run their own
I
academy, 10
of
miles
the
away,
adults
something as
that
well,
they've got
maybe?
on it, I'm sure there are some on there that would be interested in having at least their own night somewhere, which is
Yes.
brilliant.
Okay.
On top of that, I've got capacity at the moment because I've got a full time centre as well,
Okay.
and we're teaching that 6 days a week.
Okay.
I've already got my seventh day available. If they want to teach, I've got a venue.
Fabulous.
So
Okay.
therefore, we can do a good deal with them if they come on board there. They can teach in with our group there. They can have their franchise on a Sunday, for example. There, we could have a
Yes. Okay.
Sunday morning or even a Sunday evening or both if it's different
So,
instructors.
so if you look at your full-time academy, if it was running, I say flat out, but fully booked on every evening with different people running it, what could you cope with in terms of number of students, roughly? What could that business handle, do you think?
Realistically, it could cope with close on 600 students in a week.
Okay, so you can go to sort
Or
of
600 spaces in a week, I should say.
yes,
If you
okay,
were training
okay.
more, obviously, but 600 spaces in a week.
So you've got about a sort of 45% potential uplift, which means no more work for you on the mat, sir. That's the
Yeah,
trick as well, isn't it?
but also in terms of that, that is just based on that full time centre because we actually
Yeah.
have external classes as well.
Okay. Okay.
So we're running 14 days a week.
Excellent. That's really good. That's fabulous. That's great. But 40 people, well done. They must something good is happening. They must love you. It's good stuff. Well done. Isn't it?
Well, it's like you said there with the disc profiling. It's something I've seen, I've looked at before. I've never used it,
Mm,
but I have one requirement for someone that wants to teach with me, and they've
right.
got to be a nice person. That is it.
Yeah. Okay.
That is my number one priority. If they
Yeah.
are a nice person, the technical skills, they're high enough grades. They've got technical skill.
Yeah.
On top of that, there, in terms of teaching, I can help them learn to teach.
Sure.
So, but if they're not a nice person, I can't help them with that.
No, exactly.
So,
There's good filters to kick them out. No, absolutely right.
yeah,
Absolutely right. And I think as well, it depends to a degree on. And what I find is, and this is again, the best accountant doesn't make the best leader and the best technician, and some of the best martial artists don't make the best instructors. They just don't. I think when you look at the instructor profile, they've got to be obviously, as you say, good, decent people able to control
yeah,
the class. And I think if you look at them, then to be able to do maybe they're doing the selling, maybe they're doing the trial lessons and doing some of the conversions for you, or some of the admin, or whatever it is that it fits into their role. That's when it starts to become well. They can be friendly and engaging, but the friendliest people in the world aren't always very good at doing the sales part, for example. So is that there's a blend, there's a bit of a mix there, but that's really good. That's great, nicely done. I like your filter. Nice people only. That's good. I love
well,
that.
that's it. It works though, and because
Yeah,
all our growth is coming from within. So therefore,
yeah.
it's like one of the instructors. He turned 30 on Sunday.
Okay.
He's been training with me since he was 6. He
Hmm.
teaches with us full time. The other one has been training with me for 25 plus years as well. He teaches with us full time as well. So it's like everything that's coming is from within as well.
It's amazing.
My daughter teaches with me full time as well. It's like she's 22 now. It's like she's been training since she was 3. So it's like
Gosh.
very, very simple, but it's like, it's just nice to get that growth from within because in terms of that character reference, it's not just that one off chance you get to see them, which people can
No.
say the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm 99%. I would go with bringing from internal because if you've got that many students and parents and associated that are with you, being trained, they know you, they know your voice, they know your style, your values, and if they've been there for a long time, they sort of automatically fit with
Yeah,
those
definitely.
values. They wouldn't stay otherwise, would they? So they fit.
No,
You can see them. You're two-thirds the way there. You really are. So I think that internal recruitment is the key. But yeah, but 40 of them, that's fabulous. Nicely done. Nicely
well,
done.
it's just
And
going to mean that by the time I get to the end of next year, these guys will
yeah,
be in a great place there, that there'll be somebody in every single class as
yeah,
an additional extra help, which would be absolutely fantastic. And then once they've got that experience, I've then got that position where, in terms of scope for the adults, then to go and step out and have additional stuff on top of that, we could double our numbers quite easily.
fabulous. But
So,
it gives you that leverage, doesn't it? Because I think one of the limitations in specifically martial arts is from the instructor point of view, you just run out of hours. Well,
yeah,
hours and energy, and again, being blunt, at some point in martial arts careers, the hips, the shoulders, the knees start to creak a little bit, and you don't want to be on the mats all the time. So it's almost you've got to do that. And I think I see this, and it's a shame because if people don't achieve that sort of growth and they're still on the mats all the time when they get to a certain age, well, the sort of fun goes out of it. And I think that there comes a point when you have to be able to, you'll continue to do maybe the gradings and the high level work and the one-to-ones, absolutely. But to get the team to deliver most of it for you gives you that leverage and that scope because Tim, as you say, you can double the business and build more. It gives you potential to expand and grow almost exponentially, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, I'm at a point where I'm comfy with my lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm at the point of where I've got complete happiness and I only need 22 more students.
Wow.
That's it. That's all I
Yeah.
need in terms of figures wise from where I'm at now. If I have 22
Sure.
more students from where we're at right now, that I've got the comfiest position in the world.
Very nice.
Still want growth,
Of
but
course.
if we stagnate, you go backwards. That's the problem. So it's like I still want growth from it there, but I don't need any more from it. So anything else that I can generate is a bonus to me.
Yeah.
But also then it means the additional money coming in will allow these people that are coming in here to help get something back from it as well, which is just the next stepping stone to it. So
Absolutely.
I'm 55 next year, so it's like, well, I don't need a knot in life now, so it's like I'm quite happy.
Yeah, oh, good for you. And that's the only reason we do this, is to be happy. There's all these myths around 50 million students and executive jets, that sort of thing. There's a lot of it. Happiness is the real key. But I
Oh,
think an interesting point you make as well is that, and I see this in general, not just in martial arts, is that people think they can sort of hold their business at a level and
no,
sort of go, up five, down five, up five, down five. It doesn't work that way because the environment, the market, politics, and economics conspire to erode the base. I mean, look at the budget in the UK, and that's had an effect. Obviously, employs national insurance, all that sort of thing. We've got Trump turning up in January over in the US. That'll be no politics here, guys, but that's going to be an interesting ride. It's going to be a bit different. So I think we've got to have a mechanism in our businesses that we keep on growing. Even if we don't need it, we've got to make a mechanism there so we keep on growing, just so we can weather any storms or blips or budgets or whatever it is. Keep your eye on that growth because being static, it's stationary targets get hit. We've got to be moving and growing, even if you don't actually need it. Keep the foot on the gas, I think.
definitely.
Yeah, but that's really good. I mean, I'm impressed. That's really good. 40 odd. Wow, that's great. I keep you out of mischief. I thought you were going to say you got like four, but 40.
No, no, no.
My
Like I say,
goodness.
it's about 10, 12 adults in that batch of 40 odd. And it's like the
Yeah,
rest of them are juniors, and it's like range from 10 to 17. And
that's
it's
great.
like some of these 17-year-olds have been teaching with me, and 16-year-olds have been teaching with me since they were about 12.
Yes.
They
Okay.
could run any class now, except for the fact they can't because they're not 18.
Sure. Sure.
And they've got that ability. And I was doing assessments on one of them the other week, and that, and it's like they were absolutely fantastic. It's like I could
Brilliant.
sit in a corner and watch now. It's
You can
lovely.
just hold the bucket and the cloth in the corner just in case. So presumably, again, I'm going to pick on Chris Saunders in a second, and probably Amandeep as well. But presumably, you've mentioned, which I think is obviously is fabulous. You have people who've been with you for 24, 25 years. Presumably, your relationship with your students and your retention rates are really good, by the sound of it. Is that fair?
Yeah, they are. I'd
Yeah.
say our retention rate is below 3%.
Excellent. Okay, they're brilliant. Okay, there you go.
So,
I think so. I think we know what it is, and the reason I picked on that is because I see where people have good relationships and care, and shows up as retention rates. They have good people that stay with them for a long time. Those are the perfect people that love what you do, buy into what you do, and want to be part of what you do as well.
yeah,
So, I guess from a recruitment perspective for instructors and helpers coming through. Probably retention is the key one to go for first, I would have thought, because you're building spirit, community, trust, likability, and you get to know them. And if they're with you for 24 years, my goodness, you must have started when you were five or something then. My gosh. But that's our level of retention is a good platform for people wanting to be with you on the journey as well.
oh, without a doubt. I mean, I had one of my students, they started training when they're three. They're 26 in a couple of weeks' time.
Wow. I take
I
it they're black belts now, are they? They are black belts by now.
Well, oh yeah,
Um,
definitely. I was at his wedding 3 weeks ago.
Fantastic. It just that's the
Okay,
joy of it. Amazing. It's just the joy of what you do. So Brilliant. Well done. Tim, thank you. A fabulous story, but 40 coming through. So, and I think if I look at one of the retention strategies that people seem to have is the common thread is they have a lot of people helping the instructors in the class to build the engagement and the help and the support. Chris, can I pick on you? Chris, yeah, there we go. Because I think, Chris, you have quite a high, I call them instructors, instructor to student ratio in a lot of your classes. Is that true?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, so we've got because it's a tactile system, we need to have the instructors working with the kids
Yeah.
as much as possible. So we've got a ratio of 1 to 4 um, at worst. So we've got our junior role model team, and they can come onto that when they're 10. So we train them. We do 6 sessions a year for them, and then they get a book with what we expect. Well,
Mhm.
what's going to happen in the session, what we expect from them in the session, and how they did in the session. So that goes in there every week, or
Yeah.
every session they do, and they're assigned to a mentor, so one of the full instructors. And then we choose our junior apprentices from that, and they get paid. The junior apprentices get paid, and then so they have to be there have to be 14 from there, and
Yeah.
then we choose our assistant instructors from that group, which they can come on to when they're 16,
Okay.
I think. Yeah. And then when they're 18, they can apply to become full instructors after
Right.
that. But yeah, so the team is made up of, so we've got um, 4 full instructors on the
Yeah.
team. Well, three to 4 full instructors on the team. So
Mhm.
there's 3 full instructors and then me. And
Yeah.
then we have and the rest of the team is made up from those other groups: the assistant instructors, the junior apprentices, and the role model team.
But that 4-to-1 ratio, that obviously got, I assume chief instructor, these are helpers, apprentices, but there's somebody there to guide and help and engage in every class then pretty much.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
relationship building. So everyone's so we have a procedure when everyone comes in, they meet the same person on the door every
Yeah.
time they come. Then there's someone next to the tablet doing the making sure everyone's signing in properly.
Hmm.
And then you've got someone standing in front of the kids, or if it's the adult class, someone just there chatting to the adult. And then you've got another instructor. Sort of, we've got a kitchen area and then a bit where the parents watch. We've got another instructor there,
Yeah.
just in there, and then I make sure that I say hi to everybody. And well, more than not, I'm outside welcoming people as they come in. But there's always me and one other person outside because I'm always asking them, how the kids getting on at school, what's this, that, and other. And, if like 5 weeks ago they told me that the kid was having a rough time,
Hmm.
that that will be remembered, and how they're getting on
Yeah.
now is that and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's just making sure you've got those key points, the touch points. I
Absolutely.
think is the term that I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and just you just need to touch people as much as possible.
And can I ask? I know it's a soft spot for you as well. What is your retention attrition rate? What are you running
Um,
at?
this month we're at 1.92. If you say you're at
Okay.
1.8, Amandeep, I'm just coming off the call now. Um,
Good
but one of my ones from last month,
job you're not
Amandeep,
competitive, isn't
last
it,
month
about this?
is coming back. So that will put last month back. Point one it was. Anyway,
Point one.
so Amandeep, stop. It's not a competition. Just stop.
Yeah, dear. Okay.
I'm sorry
No, but
about
but I
him.
think I joke and stuff. But I mean, I think if you look, I mean, I guess I look at the. I mean, what just Hendry, just kind of if you can give us the stats on what's the nest the average stats for attrition running at right now.
It's Chris's.
So,
No, it's not.
so
It's
Chris is just average now,
6.5.
is he? Excellent.
6.5.
We go by whatever Chris goes.
That's the benchmark. The benchmark now, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just having a quick look for you. Give me one
It's just
second.
out of interest because it is a key. It's a key sort of KPI for business, but I think it leads into other things as well. Tim, as you said, and Daniel, I guess as well. I'm sure your retention is good, and because you have those people in the systems service there. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
what's the average? Go on, just out of
So at
interest.
the moment, average for October is 6.46. That's for agreement attrition, though. So
Agreement attrition, right? Okay.
yeah, that's agreement attrition. So obviously, I don't have an average for the students because we
Hmm.
only obviously on my May we see the monetary value more than the non-nest kind of students.
Sure.
But yeah, right now I don't think November will show until after the 25th, but
Yeah.
6.46.
So
Um,
I'm going to
so
call it 6.5 in my mind, if that's all right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no,
Okay.
definitely no
Yeah.
6.5. And then yeah, it's been about around there for September and October, and then August was 5.34,
Right. Okay. So
which is actually quite good considering August is generally when we see a higher attrition rate because of obviously holidays and things coming up
sure.
and happening. But no,
Yeah.
it's
That's really good.
6.5.
So, genuinely, I know we, joking aside, yeah, this attrition rate, I think it is a key, it's a key barometer of, I think, Tim, as you found, Daniel, Chris, and everybody, if because so it means that 6.5 is average. It means some academies, and I do see some academies where they're up to 9 and sort of 10% of attrition. It's like, crikey, you can't, well, in my opinion, you can't build a business on 10% attrition because all you're doing is refilling the seats all the time, and you're basically you're in the marketing business, not the martial arts business. And I think if there's a focus point to get growth and stability and build team, I think attrition is the way to go, to focus on that, and that means I think relationship and standards and support and everything that goes with it, which is clearly working. And I think genuinely, if you can get your attrition down to I would think anything below 3% is sort of world class. It can come down a bit lower or bounce up a bit, but those sort of levels, that's really good going. And then you can build, but then you can bring through and recruit. And I think a lot of the academies that struggle with recruitment are the ones that struggle with retention, I would guess, because they don't have the stability of the students coming through that sort of reference and like what they do. So okay, that's great.
I think, sorry, David, one of
Yeah, go
the,
on. Yeah, Chris, sorry. Yeah.
what was I thinking? Sorry, my head's just gone now. The
It's okay. I can mute you if you're not careful. That's okay.
yeah, what was it? No, it was the key to success itself, and it's just gone now. No, I'm just
Money,
kidding.
money
It's
and alcohol. That's the key to success. Oh no, that's the wrong
yeah, it's all
wrong
about the
meeting.
same
Sorry.
thing. No, it's gone. Sorry.
It's okay. When it comes to you, just put your paw up. So I'm going to pick on Amandeep as well because I know you guys like to compare. Amandeep, how you doing? How's the attrition rate? Just can you beat his nibs or not yet?
I won't say anything. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, we haven't lost anyone this month, so
But
yeah,
you zero so far.
we're zero so far, but that's gonna change in the next couple of days, I
Oh,
think.
okay. Yeah, it is only mid-month, so let's not crow too much. But anyway, good job. Good job. All right. Okay, so any questions around this? I think we look at, I think retention's a key one. It drives through, but at some point, bringing in people as instructors is about the only way, either to give yourself some time to get off the mats and look after your knees and hips, or to grow. I think, as Tim was saying, you're okay where you are. Business and life is good, but we're entrepreneurs. Why not go for growth? Why not build? Why not expand? And just if it's not to make more money, just make a bigger difference. Because I think the work that you guys do is incredible. So why not make a bigger effect, positive effect on the world anyway? So, any questions around that? Anybody looking to recruit or build? Did you come to you, Chris? You flinched. Have you got this secret of success now?
Did. I wrote it down as well. One of the,
Fab.
it's only really it's not a massive thing, but it's at the end of every session, we
Yeah,
just talk to the parents en masse and just tell them what they've got to look forward to. So
nice touch.
even in September, we were saying about Father Christmas has been in touch. He's trying to decide what he's going to get the children for the presents this year. So we'll keep you posted as to how that's going. And it sends us a little bit of a story. So
Yeah,
then we've said that no, he's chosen the presents now, but then a couple of weeks later, he's not happy with the presents. And this is actually a true story. He wasn't happy with the presents, so he swapped out at the last minute. And there was a bit of are they going to get here in time? But that's fine now. But it gives them something to look forward to. And I say to the kids who are right behind me, and I say, don't tell the kids because we want it to be a surprise. We don't want them to know that Father Christmas is coming and they've got presents.
wow.
And they're all going, oh, we can hear you. And I turn around and say, right, who's got a tidy bedroom? And some of them put their hands up and say, right, you're not listening. because you don't. And there's just little other things in there, like if I haven't got anything to talk about at the end, we'll do something like there was a bit of a dead spot where in between the gradings and things like that, and the Christmas thing, it was a bit too early, so we thought, well, let's do a baking competition.
Baking. Okay, yeah, baking competition. Very
Yeah.
nice.
And we did a Kung Fu Bake Off. So we launched it on the same day as the Bake Off started, and we thought it gives us something to engage with the parents. Otherwise, you're just standing there and sending the kids back to them.
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, after I did one of the Christmas ones, the other Christmas, and then I mentioned the baking competition was coming to an end, and one of the kids
Yeah.
went, "What baking competition?" And I said, "That's what I mean. Every week you stand next to me. For 3 months I've been telling you about this baking competition, and now you're asking me what it is. There's no way you're going to remember that Father Christmas is coming into Christmas."
But this, but I think this is, and I guess like for everybody, I think if I look at doing what I do, I see lots of businesses, martial arts and otherwise, are all over the place. And what I've found, if somebody says, "Well, what's the secret source of success or growth and achievement?" And you can look at sales and marketing, all that sort of thing. Actually, I think it comes down to being two or three things. One is relationship that you build with your customers, clients, students, whoever they happen to be, and also that being slightly different. Don't just work to the business textbook about, marketing, sales, conversion, and average sale, all that sort of stuff. We know all that. It's that relationship, it's that difference that you make to them, that sort of standing out from the crowd a little bit. So don't be afraid. Because again, if I look at any business, but look at a martial arts academy as a non-martial artist looking in, not you guys particularly at all, but if I look at most martial arts academies, they all look the same to me. They just do. They all look the same. It's just punching and kicking and mats, which is all fine, but I can't pick between them. And I think if you've got that relationship, that personality, the engagement, the whole, the community that you build, that's huge. And Tim, you must be doing this. I guarantee you are because you have 26 years from which you're growing your team. So that sort of focus on being different, standing out from the crowd and being slightly being the unicorn in the sector to a degree, I think is really important. So excellent.
Well, I like
Okay.
to try and mix it in with the community as well because
Okay.
the village I live in, they've got a cricket team. Now I play for that cricket team as well, and it's just a friendly cricket team, so therefore no league matches, nothing like that, no stress. If you can't make training, don't worry. If you can
Yeah.
turn up and make us sure we've got 11 people to play, that's great. So go and have a game with that. We've got
Fabulous.
it set now that every year we have a cricket match, and it's basically my club against the village team. And we get barbecue, we get little stalls running with cakes and everything else and that on. It's a great fundraiser. We're taking the team to events and stuff like that as well. But again, it
Fantastic.
drags in a lot more people then from outside of just what we do as well. And it's a bit of a
Absolutely.
laugh and a bit of a giggle because my guys cannot play cricket, but they can run like crazy. So, but it's just little bits and pieces, and it's like it just helps
Absolutely.
push and push and push without pushing.
But I think this is it, and I think there's this myth, and I see, but there's a separate conversation about, I think, marketing, and I see lots of marketing pushing on, Facebook, and I get it, absolute, all good, but actually, I think that the best marketing is the non-salesy stuff. It's the community, it's the networking, it's the cricket match, it's the support, it's the whatever it is, being visible, being seen, contributing. That is probably the most effective thing you can do because when it's free, it feels good. You've got a massive audience. It's localized. People see you, they remember you, they like you for it, and then they come and want to be part of what you're doing. And I get it. I absolutely understand with Facebook, pay-per-click, Google. I get it absolutely. But I just think there's a huge missing ingredient in lots of businesses, and again, not just martial arts, where the offline, the old school, whatever we call it, marketing, visibility, community, a lot of people miss out. They miss it. They don't get involved with it because it takes a bit of time, but it absolutely works. And Tim, I think that's a brilliant idea. You've got a cricket team that can't play cricket. Love it. It's great. Brilliant.
But it's like the same thing as well. It's like one of my instructors is now going to be dealing with all my leads, etc. He'll be calling them up, etc., and following up and following up and following up. He is the most on sales wise person in the world, and it's
Yeah,
absolutely perfect because it just comes from a point of view of honest question rather than
absolutely.
it being trying to sell to these guys here. Because if they're coming to classes, they want to come because they need something from it.
Yes.
Therefore, the conversation's quite factual
Mm,
rather than flowery. That way
yes.
around there, we're getting going to get a better response from these guys here because we're not trying to sell to them. We're
Yeah.
just going to explain what we can do for them and help them
Yeah.
with. And it's actually more beneficial sometimes in certain aspects than being over the top the other way.
Absolutely. And I think that I had as a quick, very quick aside, we do a lot of work on LinkedIn for what I do rather than Facebook. And we
Yeah.
get messages coming through from all different sorts of people about marketing and sales and leads and all that sort of 99% of it's just, it's just junk. We get rid of it. I had a message pop up from this guy I think he's in Namibia. And I thought, oh, okay. Anyway, I don't know why, but it just took my interest and I did a message back. We're going to have a conversation. And what he does, and when I check it out, I'll circulate the details if I think it's all legit. What he does is he goes into the refugee camps, of which there are loads, tragically, in Africa, in Uganda and all over Africa, where people have been displaced through conflict. He goes into the refugee camps with sponsorship and with money and charity status, and he gets a building and laptops, and he teaches people that are in these refugee camps to do marketing, to do lead generation on, either messaging on LinkedIn or Facebook, wherever it is. And I thought, well, wow, I almost, if he's doing that, I don't care how good he is. I want to contribute towards it. It's a very good cause. But I'm going to talk to him. But he stood out from the crowd. And I think if you get people in sales who try to sell too hard, we all back off. We just do. We naturally back off. We get phone calls and people say, hi, how are you? How are you today? Nobody speaks like that. It's a sales call. We hang up on them. So I think that gentle, friendly, or direct, non-salesy approach, fabulous. And
Well,
it clearly works for him. It was working, yeah.
we're texting them first as well because it's like, well, if you get a random phone number come up, it's like, well, people don't answer it; they Google it nowadays. So
Yes, that's
therefore,
right.
it's like, well, we'll send a text message to them first saying that introducing ourselves.
Yeah,
Again, no sales part of it there, just saying that we're going to give them a call. If you don't want to call, just simply send back and say no.
yeah,
If they say no, that's absolutely fine. They just then go on our automated email system and they'll keep getting little prompts every now and again.
yeah.
But if they accept the call, we'll call them. If they don't answer it, we'll leave a voicemail message. At least send the numbers there and register there, showing that way around. After so many attempts, then they'll go on the email list as well. But it's like,
Brilliant,
it gives them
brilliant.
that
Yeah,
chance without being pushy.
I
Yeah. So,
think
Henry, yeah,
so. I think it's very true because obviously we speak to customers and payers and particularly parents. They don't see they see it as a hobby for their child. And if the kid one day say, I don't want to go anymore, the parents don't think twice. They're like, I just want to cancel instead of promoting that activity and pushing their child to continue with it. I think if you are going to sell, like you also just said, Dave, and you, Tim, you don't push a sale. It's about selling what your kid or person will be involved in. You're joining a community. You're not just joining a club down the road or a gym down the road, because I think a lot of parents see a martial arts club the same as any gym that you're going to join. It's going to be a room full of equipment. You go, you do your thing, you leave. But the fact that you guys do so much more, like Tim, you said, you do that whole day out with cricket match and there's stores and a barbecue. Those are things that parents need to know about because those are all things that a kid is going to be part of. Not
Yeah,
only learn life lessons, they're going to learn a martial art, but they also growing as part of a community. They're going
mm,
to learn socializing skills. They're going to, have a group of similar minded people to hang out with and do fun things with. Keep them off the streets, as they say. But it's kind of like you need to sell not just the martial arts side. You need
mm,
to sell the element of this is a lifetime kind of connection. Your child is going to grow with these people and progress within the club. There's all these community days and things. I think that is what sells in my
mm.
mind as a parent as well. I think that is what will sell to me rather than just come and join our club for self-defense. No,
Absolutely.
I can send my kid to the gym and make him look big and he'll be fine, but it's not about that. It's not about that. So yeah, I just thought about that now when you
That's
were
good
saying,
points.
all the extra things you do. that should be celebrated and promoted, to tell
Yeah.
parents, especially, like, we don't just teach your kid martial arts, we actually involve them in this community. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I think if you look at the first point, excuse me, about the recruitment of team, I think it starts with community spirit, values, and building people who like what you do. Well, it's dusty here in the barn today. My apologies. Um, Chris, and Kev and Tina, you've been reasonably quiet. Any questions, thoughts, observations from you guys at all?
So, not hugely. I think Chris's ratio is pretty impressive to students. Similar, I suppose. We always have two coaches and two leadership team on the go. The leadership team, I think, is equivalent to Chris's junior apprentices, like 11 to 15. There's always four in the class, and our class is dependent on the art. In karate, it's 22, I think, and kickboxing, it's 30. So, depending on the art, depending on what the ratio is, but it's fairly similar. But so I was interested in the junior. I think Chris said he's got a junior apprentice or a junior instructor at 14, 15, so the different levels. We haven't bridged that level yet. We tend to just have a leadership team, and when they hit 16, we offer them an apprenticeship if they're sort of up to standard, or if they haven't got a college in mind or things like that, or if that's what they want to do, that option's there to come on as an apprentice. But certainly the 14-year-old junior instructor at the top of the leadership is a nice bridge. So I've taken some from that. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, there's because when we were looking at the apprentices, we actually were talking to one of the colleges about doing it with them. But they said that you had to offer them 30 hours a week. So we thought, okay, we'll do it. But we still have to adhere to it comes under the child slavery laws, or the Children's Act, where if you're going to pay them a certain amount or whatever, they have to be 14 years old. So
Yeah,
they have to be doing a set number of hours. They're not allowed to work after a certain time and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah.
I think it's 7 p.m. and things like that. So there's that's the reason that we have the junior apprentices start at 14.
Yeah, I just like the bridge, because if you start our apprenticeship at 11 or 12 and you're on until you're 16, it's a long-winded thing to be on the leadership team. So that I think I'm playing in my head now, where maybe having after 2 years of the leadership team, you can maybe qualify as a junior coach. But yeah, at 16, we usually offer them, if they wanted, an apprenticeship where they get 30 hours a week. We have two apprentices at the moment.
If you can offer them that, if you can offer them 30 hours a week, you can get, I think it's 2.5 grand from
Yeah,
the.
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fabulous. Excellent. Yeah, Kev, thank you. Chris, thank you. I've got two Chris's on the call. So Chris D, I'm going to pick on you now. No, Chris, any thoughts, observations, or how's it showing up in your academy?
Brilliant. I'm taking a lot of information in. It's great. This. So we have about 15 in our instructor team at the moment, and that's split up between 6 kind of main instructors and then assistants underneath those. So we have because we live in Cumbria, we're in a quite an isolated pocket.
Yeah.
So rather than having a full-time academy, we just teach out of different venues because all the locations are quite close to each other. So we get a situation where a lot of people are cross-training between venues. So we have, I feel pretty confident we've got a pretty good instructor team now, and we make sure we have at least 2 people in there per class, and then we have underneath that we have a number of kind of junior assistants, we call them, as well.
Okay.
So the way that we kind of look at it is when the student gets up to around about brown belt level, we start to kind of identify those that might be interested in getting into an instructor role in the future. So what we do is, as they're working through their advanced ranks up towards black belt, those that are interested in that instructor path, we also map onto that their instructor training and mentorship as well, so that when they get to a point where they get the technical level, that they're able to lead a class on their own, they're also already qualified to be able to kind of teach a class if they wanted to do that. So we found that works quite well with us. Kind of challenges, I guess, really is just as a traditional karate dojo, it takes years to develop an instructor. And what we find is when we're in, being in kind of Cumbria, And with it being an isolated place, a lot of kids that come through and do really well when they get to kind of 18 and they leave school, they tend to move away to cities and go to university and things like that. So we do lose a lot of real good talent that otherwise would have kind of stuck around. So I guess our next stage really is to try and embrace that a little bit and try and maybe think about how we can offer some sort of franchising or some sort of formal way that anyone that does move away from the area, if they would like to kind of set up on their own and still be connected to the club, then they could do. So I guess that's kind of my next step, but I don't know where to start with that. So any advice on that would be much appreciated.
Call Tim by the sound of it, or call.
Yeah.
No, I think this principle of creating I say a business or an academy or a dojo where the people go to, if they're only going to do it 2 or 3 nights a week or something, maybe not full time, it's part time. Absolutely, and I think it's reasonably straightforward. I think the trick will be, and obviously everybody on here doing it, please chip in, but have an agreement with them, obviously, to know how it's going to be framed and structured, and providing they can do the marketing and support them with systems and everything that goes with it, then great. There you can sort of expand as your students go around the UK. You can expand UK wide, but that sounds like a principle, a good plan. Absolutely, maybe that would be an interesting subject. I don't know, for a conversation, one of these calls, perhaps in the future, perhaps. So, okay, okay.
All I would suggest on that though, Chris, what style is it made? What style?
Okinawan Shorin Ryu.
Yeah, so I think the franchising structure is possibly more difficult for other arts than traditional karate. Because you've already got that sort of bonded, massive connection of the style and the strict syllabus that they've trained it through since they were a kid. Like if you're a kickboxer, for example, and you move away, you say, "Oh, I was going to call myself lightning kickboxer and go for it." You know what I mean? But traditional karate, you've already got a little bit of, dare I say, tie-in. You know what I mean? Connection. So if they move away, they've got that sort of affinity and connection with you. And I think you could be on for a winner from that because people moving away, going to university and doing and keeping your style going in another area. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that kind of relationship and connection there because those kids have been with us for so many years, and it's they move away, and it's not that they want to cut ties; it's just that they're forced to cut ties at the moment because we haven't got the support networking for them, and quite often they'll try and seek out other karate dojo. It maybe doesn't fit well with them because they've been so used to training with us. And a lot of them.
Just on a university example, I was teaching at university for a few years, and we got a lot of students come from black belts from other clubs, from places like Cumbria and everything else, who've got to go to a big city for a university, and they're forced to come and do the university style of karate. Where if they already had the whole thing, they could set their own club with the support from you. I think you're for a winner, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you think about
that's
it,
a great point. Sorry,
university students, they want part-time jobs, don't they? They're going to need some way of funding themselves. And if you promote it by saying, I'm offering these things, this is how, obviously have it all set up legally and professionally, but offer to do the marketing for them, seeing as it's your brand that they are going to be promoting. Say that I will help you with your marketing. I will do this. You'll be using this system. So that opens a door for them. Therefore, they can still go to university, still do what they love, promote your style, your club, build it up themselves, and then whether after university, whether they stay or go, it's up to them. They might establish a really solid club right there where they've set up, and that could. And that will grow your business. That's another way of you expanding, and as well as promote growth in your business itself. So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Sorry, Daniel, did you? I sensed you flinch. There we go.
Yeah, I was going to say we have like instructors coming through their training program, and but like before they end up launching their own schools, like find like they've got to have the chances to like prove themselves in the it's like almost a safe thing when they've got their like main instructor there to support them. Like every new instructor who goes on to launch classes, like they make mistakes on their own. Like there will be little things which go wrong. So like if you sort of create the platform for them to build their experience of being like a lead instructor in an area where you can still, you're the safety net basically, that you can like help them work through mistakes. You find like that one of the big obstacles is like confidence for people, and like we did some vision forms for the team recently, and like fear of failure came up like amongst like the vast
Yeah.
majority of people. So they all have this problem to try and overcome, unless if they can work through that in an area where you can still help in, like you can be their support for them. Then when it comes time, so if you're working with them for a year or so before they're running their own class, getting used to doing the marketing for themselves, getting used to doing the admin, they've got the freedom to make all these mistakes. Then when they go off on their own and like suddenly you're a bit further away, like you might not be able to visit their classes, or maybe be like a once a month, like you're connecting a lot less. At least they had a chance to work out what to do, and yeah, they're not just completely isolated. Like that's been something which we kind of work on, and we found it to be quite effective. So yeah.
Really good, great points. Dan, thank you. And I think, and equally, I think as Kevin, as you said, and I didn't tweak it, but yeah, if you've got a very sort of tightly disciplined art form, then it can't be just taken away. They've got to stay with you. So that's a great little niche there. So yeah, good point. I think you're onto yeah, it's a good edge to use. I would have thought there, Chris. Excellent. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
yeah,
thank
Chris with
you.
an S
Thank you
now.
for
Yeah,
that.
thanks, Chris.
Yeah, as I said, we've just decided that we sent an email out a couple of weeks ago saying that anyone that's going to uni, um, because obviously they cancel the direct debits or whatever, we've given them the option of we've worked out how much it will be um, per year for the number of sessions they're making.
Yeah.
And then we've divided that basically into 12 payments. So we said to them, if you pay, I can't remember how much it is now, it's around £20 a month. Um, then that will cover all the sessions that they're back from uni in.
Right.
So they're not paying any extra, not paying any less, but it just splits those. It takes the overall yearly cost, puts it into 12 installments, and say we'll pay for it every month, but it will cover 6 weeks in the summer, it'll cover the half terms, so however much time you're back. So it just keeps them kind of like, oh yeah, when I'm back, I need to go train. I go training.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Because at the moment, what we do is we just retain their annual membership, and obviously there's an annual membership fee that all students pay, and we just say, well, if you just keep that up, and then any time that you're back, then you can drop in and just pay per class. But I like that idea of having like a reduced rate, because then, like you say, it gives them a little bit of impetus as well. Because what we find is a lot of them kind of just lose the kind of the mojo and they lose the rhythm a bit when they get to uni and when they come back. So it's a really good idea. That, thank you.
Yeah.
And it will lower your attrition.
So maybe there should be like I don't know whether there's something that we do individually or whether Nest can facilitate or whatever, but maybe just have an automation that we write, but an automation that goes out to the uni students, just saying, it's your first week at uni, how have things been going, what has been, what have you found difficult, is there anything that, you know what I mean, and what's good about it, have you made some friends and all that, and then a month later or whatever, you're a month in, or 3 months in or whatever, how's it going, just to keep the connection there.
Yeah.
Because the football club's not going to do that. The swimming club's not going to do that. None of these other places are going to do that.
Yeah.
I think
that could even be just a 10-minute video call like this, couldn't it, as well? That would be really personal then, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you use tags for those, because we won't know who those are, but you'll know the students going to uni. Create a specific tag for them with triggers. So, these tags, this is when I want you to send this message. This is when I want you to send that message. Yeah, definitely. I think that gives it that element of personalization as well, and more direct kind of like Chris Denwood, you just said, like a video, a little video call, or even just a video that you make for them, and send them to their mobile phone. Just something to personalize it for them a little bit, and it shows your involvement and supporting their studies, and then it just makes it a little bit more personal, I think. Yeah, really nice.
Fabulous. So, well, I think it was an interesting discussion. Thanks for everybody for contributing, participating, some really good points coming out there. The date for next one of these, I'm gonna be out of circulation. We've got a conference to deliver. I'm gonna go for, if it's okay with you guys, on Tuesday, the 3rd of December. So I'll get the invitation out as normal, but 3rd of December. I'll get that put out. Then additionally, next week, we'll run the workshop. It's a leadership workshop open to a few more people. Leadership workshop. I get an invitation out for that. And I can do it at either 12 o'clock UK or 10 o'clock UK. Just real quick. What's best, 10 or 12? Who prefers 10? 10,
10.
yeah. 10 o'clock, okay. Okay, 10. Well, I'll do 10. Okay, brilliant. I'll do it on there. I'll get the invitation out for that. You're welcome to join that. And thank you for participating. I'll put this has been recorded. We'll put it up in the Facebook group. I'll get a copy over to the guys and the team at Nest as well. But for now, have a great week. Jump on the training next week. That'll be recorded as well. If you can't make it, I'll circulate it as well. But it's a bit of a broader group maybe. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks for participating. Have a great week for now.
Sorry, Dave. Just a quick
Still
one,
gone.
guys. Just a reminder that the I May Attend training session is today on the new app, the intensive training session. You should have received a link to register on. I'm sure you guys all have, but it is obviously at 12 o'clock today.
Fabulous. Okay, and any questions, drop it into the Facebook group as usual. We'll jump on it. And thanks for being here. Good to see you all.
Thank you. Henry,
Thank you.
can I speak? Can I have a quick call with you in a minute?